Hi, welcome to the Art of Shame-Free Living podcast. I didn't know I was going to do an episode this week because I was like, you know what, we should just take a week off for Christmas. And then I thought there might be a message that I need to share. And I thought, what is the best gift that you could give yourself today? What's the best gift that you could give yourself this week? Truly the best gift, better than a physical gift that someone else could give you or you could buy yourself. And I think that gift is silence. And the reason that I think silence is a gift is that it's something that we avoid. It's something we find highly uncomfortable. In fact, one of the things that is most common from people that I see that aren't doing therapy, coaching, counseling work, or just really new to it, is that they don't want to be by themselves in silence. They usually scroll their phone or they avoid it in some other way because they just really don't want to sit with themselves in silence because they're worried about what are my own thoughts? What are my own feelings? What if I'm bored? What if I don't like who I find in the silence? And we do a whole slew of things to avoid our silence. And I think it's because within silence is space and time. And within silence, we find pain and we find suffering. We find all of those feelings that bubble up that we're trying to avoid. And that is why silence is what we need to give ourselves this year, for Christmas, for today, for this week, for whatever holiday you're celebrating. Because until we meet our own suffering head on, it will never change. It will continue to bubble up and boil up and overflow into other areas of our life, overflow into our physical health, overflow into anxiety, panic attacks, insomnia, hormonal issues. There's a lot of other things that are going to come up because physical and emotional issues are connected. And silence is how it's like a portal of kind of looking at what's actually happening within ourselves. And if we don't take time for silence and for space, not only do we not really see what's happening within us, we also aren't acting very true to ourselves. And by truth, I mean like intuition. So the answers that come to my heart that feel separate from my logical mind, the answers that help guide me that feel much more from my heart. I can't tap into my heart if my anxiety, if my ruminating thoughts, if my negative thoughts are so loud. If I am so busy with my schedule, if I'm so overpacked all of the time, if I'm scrolling social media every moment that I don't have something going on, there's no space or time for healing. There's no space or time for me to stop and pause and be with my suffering. Whenever I start a new book, it usually ends up being my current fave book. So this is my current fave book, You Are Here by Thich Nhat Hanh. And this is what he says. I'm going to share a few parts in his book. I am here for you. For you means first of all for ourselves. There is pain and suffering in us, and we have tried to get away from it. We have not practiced the true presence that allows us to soothe the suffering that is in us. We turn on the television, we pick up a novel, we make a phone call so we can escape from ourselves. We do this every day. We have to change this habit. We have to come back to ourselves so we can take care of the situation. I am here for you really means I am here for myself. I'm here for my suffering, for my pain. You should look at your pain as though it were an abandoned baby. You should come back to yourself so that you can take care of the suffering baby. Your fear, your depression, your despair, that is the baby in you. It is yourself. So the reason why we want to spend time in silence is so that we can actually notice the suffering that already is welling up within us. And you can't truly be there for the suffering of others if you're not there for the suffering of yourself. If you want to deeply understand someone else, your children, your partner, your best friend, someone that you love, if you want to be there for them, if you want to understand them in a deeper way, if you want to feel more connected to them, we do that first for ourselves. One of the stories that he tells in here is that he would never tell somebody to stop drinking whiskey. He would say, just drink your whiskey mindfully. And this is what he says. I'm not telling you to absolutely stop drinking. I propose that you drink your whiskey mindfully. And I'm sure that if you do this way for a few weeks, you will stop drinking alcohol. Drinking your whiskey mindfully, you will recognize what is taking place in you, in your body, in your liver, in your relationships, in the world, and so on. When your mindfulness becomes strong, you will just stop. So even in doing things, even in eating, even in drinking, even in scrolling social media, you can bring mindfulness to that moment. You can bring some amount of silence to that moment and see what's coming up for me. What am I doing? How is this feeling? What's happening inside of me? The practice of meditation is a practice of deep looking, and it takes silence to do that. It takes stillness to do that. I'm going to share one more thing I love from this book. He says, what you are looking for is already in you. So we often go around the world with this insatiable hunger. There's something we want next, we want next, we want next, we want what's next. And what we actually are looking for outside of ourselves is already inside of ourselves. And it takes silence. It takes presence. It takes mindfulness in the moment to actually get there for ourselves. So I would offer that the best gift that you can give yourself this season, this day, this week, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, the best thing you can do right now is to take a few moments for silence every day and to notice what bubbles up for you. For when you are silent, you can no longer avoid confronting what's within you. And until we truly confront what's within us, things will never change. We will stay in the same stuck patterns of habitual patterns. We will stay in the same stuck ways of being with other people, ways of relating with other people. And we will keep creating the same life that we've always created. So if you want a bigger life, a more expansive life, expansive being open to more prosperity, more abundance, more love, more connection, more truth, more real connection, it comes first from finding that within us. And that comes first through silence. So silence is the gift that I offer for you to give yourself in this moment. It's free. It might not be easy, but it's simple. And thank you, and happy holidays, whatever holidays you're celebrating right now. Merry Christmas for those of you that are celebrating, and we'll see you next week.